Racial slur.
Of course, right at the beginning. All right, so before people get in here, making sure we're live and good to go over here. If you are coming into the video and you're watching it on playback, right now you're watching a random image on the screen because I'm waiting to turn the camera on when people get in here. As you know, this is the after party. We talk about all 4 of the Arrowverse shows. There are spoilers, so you've been warned. Also, if you're watching this on playback, there will be timestamps so you can jump through and watch the individual parts that we talk about for each show. And this week I am joined by Pagey. He's not out watching Endgame, so...
But I am here to spoil it. Groot kills Spider-Man. Sorry.
Already. It's already spoiled. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Oh, man, what a week. What a week. I don't even know how many people are going to show up tonight. This might be a smaller crowd than we normally get based on the quality of the shows this week. Wow.
Who knows?
I will say this before we get into each individual show. Those error ratings, holy crap. I'm going to take a look live right now and just see.
It's like 0.65 or something.
Was it really? Ooh.
Yeah.
Let me see.
That's what I saw people saying.
Oh my, it's even lower than that. It's even lower than that. Let me, can I do window capture? Oh, look at that, it's the wrong way. There we go. So let me move this around a little bit so you guys can see. These are the error ratings. 0.636. A drop of 9.79%. Holy crap. That is bad. That's bad. I don't know what to think about that. That's
It's a yikes. That's what it is.
people are saying, okay, so here's the theory. People are saying it's because Emily Bett announced that she's leaving the show. Do you think that's what it is or no? Yeah, that's this week. Let me make sure that's this week, but I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, 4/29. That was from this week. That was from last night. People are saying it's because Emily Bett has announced she's leaving, but that doesn't really make much sense because she's still on the show right now.
Yeah, wouldn't you want to see how they finish off her story?
That would affect, I would think, next season. But
yeah, I think it's just the fact that it's late. I think it's weird that they're trying to accommodate it for Legends. Where I think if people are going to watch Legends, I'll watch it regardless of what time it's on.
Yeah, that's the thing is that people don't understand that Legends, the reason why it survived as long as it has is from the loyal viewer base they have. Let's see, we'll go here. Let's look at Legends from this week. Yeah, Legends went up. Look at that. Legends went up by 25% in their demo. 6.10% increase. That's crazy, you guys. Are the NBA playoffs still on? If they are, then that would explain it. I don't keep up with sports, so I don't know.
Eric only cares about ships. That's all he cares about.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I care about. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope you guys are doing good. Yeah, I just want to kind of take a sneak peek at the numbers. They're probably still being adjusted. They'll probably adjust a little bit more before Sunday, before my mega video comes out. So the NBA is still on. So that could explain what's going on with Arrow. But what a really, really weird thing. Because does this affect it all the time, every year? I don't remember. I know March Madness affects them.
I don't think it... No, because it's just like, this is the finale, and usually the ratings are much better. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't even want to look at this anymore. No more. All right. Let's see. Let's see how the channel... It's okay to say the stream is doing good. I just want to make sure before we get started. No more issues. No more problems. Let me close that window. I don't want to look at ratings anymore. All right. So what we're gonna do is Pagey has been a bad. He's been a bad Arrowverse supporter the last week. He hasn't watched Supergirl or Legends, but he doesn't care if I spoil it. I'm pretty sure he doesn't care. So we're going to talk about that really quick, and then we will move on to the shows that everybody really wants to talk about. So let's start off with Supergirl and talk about American Dreamer, I think, was the name of the episode. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Thank you for the super chat, Amir. I'm going to hold on to that because that's Flash related. So I hope you're going to stick around. Don't worry, it won't take long to get there, though. So, the Supergirl episode was... I saw the Supergirl ratings. Yeah, I know it went up. American Dreamer, it was a Dreamer episode. It kind of was filler. Technically, I think all 4 of the shows were filler this week, in some ways. I mean, some of them had things that happened, but I think all of them sort of were... They had, the majority of the episode was just padding. Would you agree with that, Pagey? You think that's appropriate to say?
Well, for all the shows.
Yeah, they were sort of filler.
Yeah, you always get like that one sort of fillerish episode that like slightly connects to the main story towards the end of the season. I think last season was episode 21.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember what the episode was. What was it?
God, I don't remember.
It was something.
Because I mean, this was around the time and era where we got the bunker episode, right? It was around. This
that was
time.
episode 20. That was episode 20 of season 5.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably right. These are all like sort of filler episodes. I mean, there was stuff in them that tied into the main story, but the episodes themselves were mostly filler. And I hate using that word because I do know that filler, people tend to think that means that there's nothing relevant to the storyline, but that's not always the case. You can have a filler episode that has like a tiny bit connected to the next. Anything that you learn in a filler episode is gonna it'll continue to carry over to the next episode, so you won't feel like you're left behind.
The main misuse of the word filler is when an episode might not be super interesting, and then people just call that filler, when it could be the most relevant episode to the season. Like, it have a lot of different things laid out. So that, like, yeah, what you're saying is correct, but then you get people that will misuse the term filler, and just because an episode might not have Barry doing some amazing thing, or it might not have, like, in this case, Reverse Flash in it or something. Right. Oh, it's filler because of that.
Yeah.
So there's just misuse of the term.
So, this episode of Supergirl, we'll just go through it really quick, unless you guys got questions about it. Like I said, we're just going to jump through both Supergirl and Legends really fast. So Supergirl had, like, 2 main things. We had the James situation, as we're looking at it on the screen now, where he was suffering from the effects of the serum that they gave him, the superhero serum, and he starts to get powers, and he's literally Kryptonian. He's got heat vision, he can fly, he's got super strength, super hearing. So I do believe that our theories about him becoming a Superman type character, it's probably going to happen next season. We're probably going to see James in a suit working at the DEO because the storyline with Lena failed. That love story was bad, and
I didn't know what to do with the character.
Yeah, this is a better direction for him, but I don't know. The other aspect of it was the Dreamer stuff, which is like showing her like out on the street and everything, and doing basically superhero duty while Kara was, doing her reporting and everything. Now that I'm thinking about it, the James part was pretty much relegated to this one space, this little lab space. The Kara stuff was kind of all indoors in rooms. So the only outdoor stuff that actually happened was the stuff with Dreamer by herself. And then, like, whoever the bad guys were. Even the scenes with the other aliens primarily took place inside of buildings. So this was a money-saving episode for them. That's what this was. There really wasn't... I can't think of anything major that happened. I mean, at the end, we saw John at Mars and, I guess, burying the staff, I believe is what he was doing. My DVR froze on that scene. We also get the Ben Lockwood facing off against James that lasted 5 seconds. Because James is a superhero now. He's got superpowers. So he's a Kryptonian that's not an alien. So is he gonna get? Is he gonna start getting attacked for being an alien, even though he's not? Do I like green tops? I don't know. I don't really understand the question. So anyway, the Supergirl episode was just kind of, again, it was filler. I just thought it was kind of boring, to be honest. That's going to be a running theme, as you guys will see as we go through these shows. I saw somebody comment on Dreamer's costume. What do you think of her costume now that you've seen it more? I mean, do you like it or do you not like it?
It's just like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I guess someone said it's the worst one. Like, I don't think it's the worst one.
Yeah.
Like, there's some worse ones out there.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think it's okay.
Well,
it's not bad. It's not great, but
some people are saying it's the worst one. I've seen, like, I would argue that the Flash suit has more problems than the Dreamer costume does. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, it sticks out more. Like, you argue the Dreamer mask is a bit weird. Like, they probably, I mean, the mask is a bit too big.
Yeah.
But the actual suit, like the body of it, I think is fine.
You know what? The one thing I love about Black Lightning, with the exception of Black Lightning, is that the majority of their suits have some sort of practical use to them. Like his directs his powers, and then some of the other characters have suits with like face masks that protect them and things like that. There's not that many, like their costumes are pretty good on Black Lightning. And I know we don't talk about that show on here, but you compare that to some of the stuff that's on the other Arrowverse shows, and it's like, yeah, Diggle's, the previous Spartan costume was pretty bad.
Oh, the helmet.
Also,
that was bad.
Kara exposed Lex and his organization, or that's what the main prime. I don't even really remember. The episode was boring. It wasn't much in it. I really just kind of want to move on. So in the chat, give your score of Supergirl from 1 to 10 in the chat. And yeah, we have a awesome, wow. It's a pretty big super chat that I just noticed from, and we could talk about it now because it's literally about everything. Victor D. Chinchilla, cool name, with a $49.99 super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, because that will literally make up for the fact that this video is going to get demonetized. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, we'll wait until we say something that would definitely get it demonetized.
Yeah. Some people are saying not a 10 out of 10.
Going to assume that's a troll.
I would say the 6s and the 7s I can kind of get behind, but the 10? Ooh.
The 10?
So, yeah, that's a bit much there. All right, let's jump away from Supergirl here. So the question is, and we can both answer this because I think this is a good week to have this question, actually. Will this type of so-so writing will affect how many episodes are next season? So you're asking, because of the filler episodes and the kind of writing that we're getting, is it going to affect like whether or not we get our normal amount of episodes? I'm going to say the only show that may get reduced episodes other than Arrow may be Legends of Tomorrow. I think Supergirl and The Flash will always be 22 or 23 episodes. Is that a pretty sure bet? What do you think, Pagey?
Oh, 100%, because The Flash, it would be stupid as hell to drop their numbers because it's $1 billion a season property.
Yeah.
Give or take, maybe a 50 mil.
Yeah. I mean, Supergirl could lose episodes, but Supergirl is one of those shows where it's one of their, even though it's not getting the most ratings, it's one of their premiere shows. You know what I mean? Like,
because you got to realize it's better for them to show 23 episodes of The Flash rather than 16, then show 16 episodes of The Flash and 10 episodes of a show no one's going to watch. You know?
Yeah.
Much more smarter.
And the thing is, The Flash, like you said, it's $1 billion show. It is easily the most popular and most watched show on the CW.
And it's also important to remember, Flash and Arrow are like always in the top 5 or 6 torrented shows. So even though like the actual like you only get like 1 point whatever million for Flash, there's a lot more watching the show than it actually is reported. Which can like translate to other things like watching the trailers on YouTube, which give them monetization views and stuff like that. various things like that. Just create hype for the
because
show.
also Netflix has deals with like CW in some countries where they get the full season or they air them week to week. Like I know Black Lightning in the UK is exclusively on Netflix. So
yeah, same in Australia. While all the other shows are on a channel called Fox 8.
Yeah, and those views don't count towards the live viewership, so you don't see that in those numbers. So,
Well, not even like the CW seed or the CW.com views translate over.
Right. So thank you so much for your super chat and supporting the channel, Victor. Really appreciate that. Very nice, $49.99, and thank you so much for your question. And I hope I answered it right. If you have anything else, drop it in the chat, and hopefully I see it. Thank you so much. And Amir, I still see your question, but we're going to wait till we get to the Flash before I talk about it. I hope that's okay. So next we're going to talk about Legends really quick and jump through this because this is going to trigger me, and I don't want to get triggered. So
Well, quickly, Ash wrote, filler isn't a problem if you write a good story. If your story is shit and it's filler, you're just pissing off your audience on a whole new level, which I completely agree with because last season, what was some people's favorite episode of the season? Enter Flash Time, which was a straight up filler episode.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. Like, it literally did. The only thing that was relevant is that they introduced, like, the idea of Flashpoint so Kaitlyn and Cisco could go into it for a second in that one episode. But really, when you look at it, it's a complete filler episode.
Yeah.
So, there's an example, like a filler episode, when written well, doesn't trigger people. But just when a filler episode is just poor and you just be sitting there going, oh, nothing's happening. Yeah. That's when people complain about it.
Well, in filler episodes, this is the thing I don't understand. Filler episodes have the potential to be the best episodes because you're not tying it into anything. It's a one-off episode where you can literally do whatever you want.
You got no restrictions really.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's talk about Legends. I believe this episode was called Egg McGuffin. It's like Egg McMuffin, but Egg McGuffin. So each week, I don't think Legends can be any worse than the previous week, and then it proves me wrong every time. So last week we had the episode. Did you watch last week's episode, Pagey?
No.
So last week we had the romantic. What even happened last week? I don't even remember. The week before, the IKEA. Okay, the IKEA, the build, like they went shopping and put things together on the show and bought beds and stuff like that. Yeah, so this episode was literally like one of the worst things I've ever seen on television. It was so bad because there were moments where they were almost giving me something and then they just pulled it away. The stuff with Nora Dark is the most interesting thing that's happening on the show, and they're not giving us much of that. It's almost like a side story in the show. And it should be the main story because it's the Constantine story, which is what we were teased this season. So there's that. Sarah decides to send Nate and Zari on a mission together because they want to take bets on whether or not they're going to end up in a relationship. That is literally what they did in the episode. Then we had Mick and Charlie going to a romantic convention about his novels, sitting on a panel talking about his novels, while Mona shows up, sees them there, and instead of asking them what they're doing there, she decides to get on the microphone and call them liars in front of the whole group of people they were in, sort of turning into a werewolf, which, by the way, Mona is a werewolf, which makes her one of the creatures they're hunting down. Why is she allowed to run around out in the open? Why is she not locked up at the Time Bureau? I mean, she's technically one of those monsters now.
Are you meant to have your... Oh, no, sorry, I'm an idiot. Don't worry, ignore me, I'm an idiot.
Okay.
I had the video paused on your live stream. I was like, why aren't you on screen?
Oh my god.
And it's just a picture of Barry and Nora.
Yeah, that's what I do at the beginning before I start the stream.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is an awkward stream. There's nothing on screen apart from them. Okay, don't worry. That's me being an idiot.
So the Nate and Zari stuff is cringe. The egg is stealing from Game of Thrones because the egg has a dragon in it.
Could be copying Harry Potter.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like they're trying to copy something that's really popular at the moment, which is Game of Thrones. It could be Harry Potter, though. I don't know. They're copying McDonald's, Egg McGuffin, Egg McMuffin.
But who gets an egg McMuffin? Like, what creep does that? I guess like a vegetarian. Like, who's eating egg McMuffins? Like, you off your head? It's like, just get a sausage one, sausage McMuffin or bacon and egg McMuffin. Like, Jesus Christ. Sorry, if I saw you in line, and you said, "Oh, can I get an egg McMuffin?" I just go, Jesus Christ, just go somewhere else, please. What the? Who's getting that? Get the pancakes instead.
And then we have Gary teaming up with Ray. So now there's a team. Gary's helping Ray, who's also now Neron. Amir, $2 super chat. Only reason for Legends is to have these chats. So, yeah, I agree. Emily says, so she is a lycan, actually a werewolf, so she can change by her emotions, not by moon cycles, so she can choose to harness her powers. In truth, a werewolf can't at all. Well, that's true. I get that, but we've also seen that she's lost her cool. So I would say that they at least should be a little bit careful with her, maybe? Yeah, go ahead.
Controversial opinion in the chat. The Omega's just writing, McGriddle's better than McMuffins. I had a McGriddle when I was in America. I felt like throwing up after 2 bites because it was, I don't know what the hell it was. It tasted like, is a McGriddle meant to be like pancake McMuffin? Because that's what it tasted like to me. Like the buns are pancakes or something. It tastes like pancakes dipped in syrup, then put on top of the contents of a McMuffin. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is that literally what it is? Because I feel like vomiting after 2 bites.
That's what it's supposed to be, yeah.
It's literally a pancake
it's a pancake sandwich, yes.
Okay, because I thought it was just like something different. Okay, so I almost felt like vomiting. It was one of the most disgusting things I've ever eaten.
I don't like a McGriddle,
but
so that's just me.
I did finish it because I was starving and I was like, I've already paid for it, but would never get it again. You could give me $10 and I'd just get God knows what else.
I love that Legends got us talking about McDonald's food. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know. The Omegas just made me feel sick because I just had flashbacks to that McGriddle and me sitting there just trying to get the flavor out of my mouth with like 7 hash browns. It was not good.
Yeah, so Lime Green says, I think the title is a play on MacGuffin, which is a phrase commonly used in film criticism to describe an object that is relevant to the story that the viewers don't care about, which is why it's a dragon, because I think it is going to come back later on and be important, which is the only reason why it showed up. So my thoughts on Gary's betrayal, like, it's Legends. You could literally have anybody do anything and it doesn't matter. The characters on Legends have no personalities. They are... The writers decide what they want them to do in that episode, and then they do it. It doesn't matter if it fits within their personality or not. So that's why it's hard for me to critique it. A lot of people say, why do you not put more time into Legends? It's because it's hard to critique a show that doesn't take itself seriously, because what am I supposed to say? I mean, Super Chat is the little $ icon at the bottom of the chat, Kempton. You just hit that, and then it sets up the thing for you. So anyway, Legends, didn't like it. I don't really know what else to say about it. Gary turned evil for a nipple. Yes, that's true.
Actually, fun story about that.
Uh-huh.
I went because I came on and you guys were watching Legends, like, and I asked, is it bad? And they went, yep. So I left, went out a shower, came back. The first thing I saw when I turned it on was the nipple crawling on the ground.
Was it really?
Yeah, that's the first thing I saw, nipple crawling on the ground. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, I've obviously missed something here.
But it looks like that Nate and Zari are going to be a thing. They're going to move forward with this really bad relationship. Yeah. So
yeah, I think is that easily the worst ship in the Arrowverse now? It beats Lena and James.
I would think so. Yeah, I mean, because Lena and James never really became a thing. It started out and then it just kind of fizzled out. But this is like they're really pushing it hard. So, okay, this is just my thoughts on it. In the chat, give me your scores from 1 to 10 on this week's episode. What did you guys think of it? I want to know what everybody's score is. I just want to be a fly on the wall in Legends Writers Room. It's probably a lot of alcohol. It's most likely what it is. Omega says Vigilante and Dinah. That was pretty bad, too. 2, 3, 5, 3, 3. Zari out of 10. 0 out of 10 because I didn't watch it. See, everybody's waiting for Arrow and Legends. That's really it.
Yeah. McDonald's menu in America breakfast is crazy compared to Australia. Australia, we have sausage McMuffin, sausage and egg McMuffin, bacon and egg McMuffin, like egg and bacon, no, egg and sausage wrap,
Yeah.
which is basically just a McMuffin in a wrap. The Mighty Burger or something, or the Mighty McMuffin, which is actually a burger or something like that, which has like stuff on it. It's like a hash brown and a burger. And then you have hot cakes, and there's hardly anything there. Like I was like, that's why I got the McGriddle, because I thought, oh Jesus Christ, this must be good. It wasn't good. Felt like vomiting. But
Mark Hill Scott,
there's hash browns, obviously.
Yes, there are. Mark Hill Scott with the 199 super chat says Eric's Legend Rants are classic. I know you guys like them. I don't really know. Like I could do them every single week because it does frustrate me that much. I just don't know. I don't really think that people want to hear that. Maybe they do. Maybe they like to hear me go off on Legends. I don't know. All right, so let's move on to Arrow. And this week's episode was titled Confessions, which I thought was the first time a title was completely 100% appropriate for me. I mean, that's what the episode was. So Pagey and I are probably going to disagree a little bit on this episode, but I think we'll end up at the same place at the end. So this episode was basically a round robin hot seat where Dinah and Officer, whatever's his name, is grilling the Team Arrow because they think that one of them, or at least they are making us believe that they think one of them has murdered these officers or killed these officers. And that's really the premise. The reveal at the end is nothing that was teased. I mean, we knew there was going to be something, but we didn't know exactly what it was. So, I don't like, and this is one of the things in my video that I think a lot of people misunderstood because I had a lot of people complaining about it. I didn't think the episode was bad. I never said it was bad. In my video, I asked if people thought it was boring because I found it quite boring for the first half an hour because I don't like this type of storytelling. It really just, I get tired of it really fast and I just want to move on to something else. So that was my reason for it. But I think the back half of the episode was incredible. I think it was some of the best Arrow we've had this season. So what did you think about that? I mean, I know you talked about it in your review, but for the people that are here, what did you think about it?
Well, the synopsis sort of said that this is how the episode would be.
Right.
Like it was going to be this whodunit thing. So I wasn't too sure if it was going to do this thing where we see the end. Like it was going to do this whole flashback thing. I wasn't too sure if it was going to do that. Like constantly flashbacking. I thought they would do the thing like we sometimes see with like Flash, where they'll have like, you know how they have like this big thing that's like usually like 10 minutes away from the end of the episode, but they'll show at the beginning and then they'll say 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, some hours earlier. And then we just see it play out until that moment. That's how I thought Arrow was going to do it. And then we were going to see, I didn't think it was going to be this thing where there's all these different scenarios played out and they're all, you know, they're all different and well fake really to lead to what they're portraying as the real thing. I wasn't that frustrated by it because I thought it'd lead to something. Because you could just sort of, if they were going to do this down this route, it wasn't going to be this like obvious thing, if that makes sense. It was going to be some sort of twist. I just thought, and it gets explained at the end, I just thought Dinah was overly annoying. It was frustrating to watch, and I said in my review, I could understand if people turned it off because it was annoying to the point where it was triggering. Yeah, like she was being so different.
Yeah, Dinah was the thing that was bothering me. That was my biggest complaint. Not because I think when we were in the live chat, which by the way, people were asking, when I say live chat and we talk about live chat, we're talking about Discord. Pagey's Discord, there's a section for watching the shows live. So if you follow his Discord, you can come in and chat with me. I'm almost always in there. There's a lot of people in there chatting. So during
hold on. We must say Eric does talk a lot about Olicity because he does love it. So you do have to deal with that in the live chats. Sometimes West Allen just depends if he's really feeling it. If he's in the mood for West Allen, he won't stop talking about it. But every Arrow episode, it's always Olicity this, Olicity that. So just giving you the heads up.
Okay, yeah, sure. All day, all day.
Well, I just don't want to get called out in the middle of a live chat. I'd rather just let people know before they join.
But in the live chat, that was kind of what people were saying was at the 20-minute mark. We're like, okay, we get it, Dinah. You're being, just totally like a big jerk and you're going after everybody and they're trying to throw Oliver under the bus and then it's Renee doing it and then this other officer. It wasn't like I was expecting good cop, bad cop. It was just bad cop, bad cop. That's all it was. And so I'm thinking the whole time, okay, what is the play here? What is going on? Something had to happen because there was no reason for Dinah to act the way she was acting. So there had to be a twist. And I think about the 20-minute mark is when everybody was feeling like, okay, something's got to be going on here. This doesn't make any sense. And the other thing is that I thought the officer was going to be a plant for the Ninth Circle. That's what I thought. And I said that. I was like, I feel like that she's doing this to bring out like these plants, these people that are in the police department that are working with the Ninth Circle. But that's not what happened at all. And I thought I wanted that payoff and then we didn't get it. We swapped that for a different payoff that you probably don't like at the end that we found out. So anyway, as you guys know, it was just a big ruse. That's the whole thing. And there was maybe 10 minutes of an episode spread out over that time. I just didn't like that form of storytelling, right? So that's why I said I thought it was boring, or maybe other people thought it was boring. Some people agree with me. Some people disagree with me. It really just depends if you like that type of stuff. I don't, but I really liked the back half of the episode. The last two portions before we got to the end, I thought were really strong because it reminded me of like old school Arrow, and having Roy back was awesome. I really enjoyed having him back. What did you think about the Lazarus Pit twist at the end?
I wasn't expecting it at all, and then I think Oliver mentioned bloodlust, and I was like, oh shit, he wouldn't have said that if it's. And then I was like, oh, what the hell? So he's either super injured to the point where he got put in there, or he was dead, because the only time you only get bloodlust if you die,
right? Because
Raish never had it,
right? Just being injured won't do it. You have to be like completely dead when they put you in there.
Yeah, so there's like something to do with your soul and stuff like that. So wasn't expecting that at all. I wouldn't have minded, maybe getting a flashback to it, but obviously that would require getting Thea and Nissa in there. But I don't think anyone was expecting that, to be completely honest, because we just all assumed I was just some leftover Mirakuru in his system that when triggered to the max, it just goes on and does that. But yeah, I thought it was actually well done, because I don't think that's a twist that a lot of time with these shows you can see the twists happen, but I don't think we weren't expecting to hear that Roy had died to the Thanatos skill, then been used in the Lazarus Pit. So it's pretty crazy.
Some people were complaining that it was teased too early in the future scenes. And I would say that, yeah, I kind of see what you're saying, but in the future scenes, we weren't sure exactly what it was. We were assuming that it was Mirakuru. We didn't know anything about the Lazarus Pit. So
yeah.
So I thought it was a pretty cool twist. I liked it. So let's get down to brass tacks on this, the main point of this episode, and without all the other stuff. So, Roy was the one they were covering up, and that was the whole point of the I guess, illusion they were doing in the rooms when they were talking to everybody, because they were all in different rooms. I don't know if they were all like interview rooms, or they were just spread out throughout the station. I don't know for sure. The only reason the other officer was there was so that he would see that Dinah was actually doing this, so she could pretend like she was not unaware of, or she wasn't involved with it.
Yeah, the only thing I think I could think of is that during this process, there should have been highlighted in the show if this was the case. But it could be the case where they know that Dinah is friendly with these people, so you can't just interview them without another witness there. That's the only thing I can think of. However, show should have made that clear.
Right. Well, I mean, in either way, I think it would have been fine. I don't have a problem with it now. Now that we know what was going on, I don't have an issue with it. My issue with it initially was that it just seemed odd that there was two people playing bad cop. It should have been good cop, bad cop, and that wasn't what was going on. So I just was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then the big reveal at the very end is that Emiko admits what she's doing to Oliver right to his face. No more hiding in the shadows. No more beating around the bush. We got 2 episodes left, and she tells Oliver 2 big things. Well, I think 2 big things in terms of I guess the way you look at it. The real big thing would have been the fact that she knew about what was happening to their father. That was the big one. And she told him, that I didn't do anything about it. Just let it happen. And the other big thing was the fact that she admitted that she was trying to ruin the legacy of Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 big things. Do you think that if she would have said that to him and then she didn't blow up the building, she could have still redeemed herself, because I think blowing up the building was kind of the nail in the coffin for her.
Yeah, I think anything before that was fine. The legacy thing, and then she already committed the whole not telling Robert, but telling that to Oliver as well.
Yeah, that was in the past, already done. Right.
But blowing that building up, where we see what happened to Oliver, where he probably should be dead.
And she was trying to kill them. That was the thing. She was trying to kill them.
You can't come back to it, and it can't be this thing where like, oh, I knew it wouldn't kill you, it just might heavily injure you. Like that can't be said later on.
Right.
So, and unless there's something. There has to be something massive happen to change my opinion, because I said last week in my video, I was like, if they go down the route where like Emiko is legitimately evil and she's doing this like to be this villain, and let's just get you demonetized right now. They fucked up. Like they've completely.
They ruined the character. They ruined that.
They've ruined the character from the comics, and that's something that's Guggenheim's thing, to ruin a character from the comics. Beth has been fairly decent with what she's done.
Right.
And I feel this is the biggest error, and it's a massive error, because it's your villain, and it's a character that we know in the comics, and I don't know, it's just extremely frustrating to watch. Look, it could play out well and be an awesome story at the end, and there could be some great resolution at the end, but use a different character. Do you have to use Emiko Queen? Because I don't think her ties to Oliver and the Queen family is that important to her story. It could be like, oh, my mother worked for the Queens and got let down or something like this, and this ruined my life, so I'm getting revenge on the hierarchy in Star City. It could be that. But using this character from the comics, who is liked a lot by the people that read, the people that read the Green Arrow comics like the character of Emiko.
Right.
Or Emiko, whoever you want to pronounce it.
Well,
so the show's portrayal is super frustrating to watch.
I felt that
up at this point now. Before I was like, okay, there's going to be a twist, because in the comics there's a twist. She keeps flip-flopping just to sort of, create an illusion and then eventually side with the right side. But that's dead and buried by burying the team in the building.
I thought everything she was saying to him was like a dagger to his heart, I think. But then blowing up the building wasn't just about Oliver. At that point, it was about everybody. It was like the whole team and everything. And so if we're talking about like stuff that people have done, I mean, there's stuff that people has done on Arrow that I would consider less evil, that they're still being punished for it. So if Emiko's doing that, then I feel like there's no coming back from that for her, And it's unfortunate because, like you said, I mean, there's people that really love that character, and they've kind of they've decided what they're going to do with her now, Well, you should ask Pagey that. He knows more about the Ninth Circle than I do. Lime Green Hulk wants to know if Dante is a real character in the comics. I don't really know if he is. So.
That's when they were mentioning Dante. I was like, well, that's why the Ninth Circle was there,
right?
Because no, it was when they had the picture of Dante's Inferno of the thing. I was like, well, it's Ninth Circle then, because that's the leader of the Ninth Circle from the comics.
Oh God, Mona Emiko crossover coming up soon. Really? Okay, so there's a wait, hold on. Did I just see what I saw here? I think Emiko is justified for her actions. Vibing the chill, really? I think her actions towards her father could be justified, but Oliver hasn't done anything to her.
I've been trying to help her.
Yeah, I mean, he's been actively trying to help her, and the team has been covering up for her.
She blew up the building that Renee was in, who's done nothing but help her. Renee saved her life.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying that the team has actively been trying to cover up for her all this time. So
yeah, well, yeah. So
all right, so let's see. I got 2 super chats here. One from the Omega 311 with the 199 super chat. He goes, "Would you watch a Roy spinoff show?" I would. I think Roy could hold a spinoff show if it was based on the story with him and Thea, but I don't think Willa has any interest in doing that. So it would be hard for him to hold a show without Thea because those characters are so deeply connected. Do you think so, or do you agree with me on that or not?
Say it again. I wasn't listening.
Okay, so Omega was talking about a Roy spinoff show, and I said I would watch it, but I feel like a Roy spinoff show would have to include Thea. There's no way it couldn't.
Oh, it would have to. Yeah, like. And I don't know, like, if they did it, because I think this whole thing with, like, him killing those guards and stuff, this is, like, literally the reason he goes and exiles himself on, the island. And maybe he just leaves Thea without and tells like no one, maybe apart from Oliver or something.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty. Are we okay? So you and I haven't discussed this, but are we on the same page that the reason why Roy goes to the island is because of the bloodlust? He doesn't want to be around anybody. He wants to be separated.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't want anything that could trigger him.
All right. Yeah. Okay. That's want to make sure. Thank you for the super chat. So Laura E with the $5 super chat says, "Do you think that the mayor is working with the Ninth Circle?" Well, thank you so much for the $5. I think it's a good possibility. I mean, what do you think? I mean, I feel like they could tie that in easily. I mean, the mayor's been kind of sketchy from the beginning, so.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising at all. Like any higher up, you have to think that there's a possibility they could be working with the Ninth Circle.
The only problem is you put the mayor in league with the Ninth Circle. We wrote back around to the idea of hunting the vigilantes in Star City, and that's kind of been the story since the beginning of the show. So I'm hoping in the final season they redeem themselves and become heroes. But then in the future they say that the vigilantes are bad for the city. So I have no idea. I would hate to think the show ends on a low, but that feels like that's where they're going. So,
yeah,
I don't know. All right, so let's move on here. You guys, a lot of people want us to move on, so we've touched on everything. Go ahead and give us your score from 1 to 10 on this week's Arrow. I think Arrow in the back half was the strongest episode of the week, but we'll talk about that, or strongest of the shows of the week. 1 to 10 for Arrow, and then we're going to move on to Flash. And the first thing we'll do is talk about Amir's question because he super chatted really early. So we'll do that. 887677776. Emiko out of 10. 9 out of 10. Wow. 8677. 8 Roy flips. Did you like the Roy fight scene? I know we're done talking about it, but I thought that was really well done. That fight scene they did at the end with Roy.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the coolest scenes in the episode.
He did a lot of parkour. It's totally Roy. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to Flash. I think this is the Flash button. Yes, it is. All right, so this week's Flash was called Gone Rogue, which I feel like is an episode title we had before. I don't know why. It just felt like it. Maybe I'm thinking of another one. Was there another episode similar to that? Like Going Rogue or something?
There's usually something like that. There's been Rogue Air, Rogue something.
Yeah. All right, so this episode was about Nora's return to 2019 and a plan that she had, and Kaitlyn and Ralph had some stuff together. That's pretty much it, really. There was a lot of L's being handed out in this episode, just saying. So Amir with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Amir. Appreciate it. He says, if the negative Speed Force was created by Thawne, then he should have nothing to do with the positive Speed Force. Their Time Race or Black Flash legends should be meant for positive Speed Force users. Okay, thank you so much for that super chat. I think the way they explain it in this episode, and I'm not totally sure I understand it yet. I'll have to think about it a little bit more. They said that the negative Speed Force and the positive Speed Force are connected in a way because the negative Speed Force feeds off of the feeds off the positive feeds off of the positive Speed Force. Is that right? I think that's the way they put it.
Yeah, it's basically like a cancer or like a parasite and takes away from it and feeds off it.
Right. So the negative Speed Force isn't 100% its own thing. It's like an offshoot of the Speed Force.
Yeah.
So
it draws its energy, yeah.
So Eobard can still use it without the Speed Force's permission, so to speak. But the Speed Force would still regulate things that happen with it, if that makes sense. That's just a theory. We don't know for sure because we're not really 100% certain about how it works in the show. But I would say that I'm pretty confident that it is still connected in some way.
Yeah, Canada Grass nails it. It's the McGriddle to the McMuffin of the Speed Forces. The McMuffin being the Speed Force, the positive and the pure thing. The McGriddle being the offshoot, basically demented reality version.
Parasite, right. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Mike Haram with a $5 super chat says, is it crazy to think that future freed Thawne is telling currently in jail Thawne how to escape giving him a winning plan via Speed Force language? That makes my head hurt. So you're saying that the Thawne that is already out of jail is working with the Thawne that's in jail using the Speed Force language. I don't think they would do that. What do you think? I don't think they would go that direction.
No, I'd be surprised if I'd be surprised they did anything like that. I'm just curious to see how the Thorn thing wraps up because, like, did you see the synopsis for the finale?
Yeah,
It's such bait. Like, seriously, they are treating the audience like they're idiots.
all right,
Like,
hold on. I want to read it right now while we're here.
it says like they basically make out that the finale is just one big battle against Reverse Flash, when we know for a fact that Cicada filmed all of the finale days, bar like 2 or 3. I think she left like with 3 days left to film.
Right. Oh, it's just like that one sentence. It goes, Barry faces off against his oldest and most formidable nemesis,
Yeah.
Reverse Flash. That's it. I mean, that's not really. We kind of knew that's what was going to happen. I didn't
like,
want to think
people,
they would, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, just
So Cicada is not going to be the big bad, I guess.
Well, I think the Reverse Flash thing is just going to be like an end scene. Like it's going to be like a
lead into
maybe
next
season.
season.
Like it's going to be like an epilogue. What's the one that comes after an epilogue?
Yeah.
It's going to be like an epilogue for the season that just leads into next season.
And Mike says, well, I mean, if he was out, he could nudge things in his direction. Well, the thing is that he technically is kind of working with himself because that book contains everything that's happened, all the changes that were made. So even if he's not physically helping himself in jail, he's definitely like using knowledge that's in the book. Wouldn't the monitor be in the epilogue? I think the monitor is going to show up in the other shows, but I don't think he's showing up on the Flash. Pretty sure. Yeah. Canada Graphs would know more about that than we would. God. Okay, we got some more super chats. I want to go ahead. Omega311 with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, why the hell is Ralph being used as a sidekick for everybody? I feel like he has more to offer than being a sidekick to Iris and Killer Frost. Can we just talk about how awesome Ralph was in this episode, though? I think this was one of his best episodes.
Well, they're really trying to set up Sue Dibney, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like the whole thing. I did find it funny how he thought Kaitlyn was hitting on him.
But it was so Ralph. That was perfect, right? Like, they get some characters so right. The Ralph character is usually done so right. I don't know how they managed to do that, but he is.
Well, remember, okay, let's have a flashback down memory lane. Last season, I'm getting verbally abused for saying I like the Ralph character, and I can see that he's going on this character building journey.
Whenever we did our after parties last season, I was always like, I hate Ralph. He's my least favorite character.
Yeah, and I'm just here saying, like, look, you can talk all the crap you want, but I'll be right come the end of the season in season 5. And now I'm here on the holy grail of basically pedestals, looking down at the peasants known as Eric and the other cucks that were bagging out Ralph, and I'm like, who was right? I was right.
You were. Ralph is awesome this season. He's one of my favorite characters this season. So, okay.
Just thought I'd gloat for a bit there.
Yeah. You deserve gloating because you were right. They did change him up a little bit. But I agree with Omega, though. It says, him being a sidekick. He's been a sidekick because Nora has stolen everybody's screen time. That's pretty much the reason why. Amir with another $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Amir. He says, season finale synopsis states Flash will face off with, not against, his old enemy. Could mean a team up rather than a rivalry.
What is this?
He says the wording says face off with, not against.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That could be a trick. Yeah, he's right. That could be a play on words. But I don't think Thawne is going to be a good guy. They would never do that. If he works with Thawne will flip the script on him, and I think that's a lesson that we learned in this week's episode. So
it'll be something where like he wants to get a benefit, but he might need Barry's help, and as soon as that's done, he's like, "Well, we're still enemies. I'm going to try and kill you."
Right, but I'm leaving. See ya. Be back another time.
Yeah. With a different face.
Look at Chronic's question here.
Have you ever smoked a joint before? Typical that the name is Chronic as well.
Finn says, you don't understand. This is already Nora's show. No, I totally understand. I totally get it. All right, so we got another super chat here from Flashpoint Wolf E2, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, obvious theory, but they said that the negative Speed Force feeds off the Speed Force. Could the disappearance of Barry, Speed Force creator, be the reason why Thawne lost his speed? Oh, that's a good point. So you mean back in season 1? When he erased the original Barry that he took the Speed Force from. Oh my God, that's almost brilliant, actually. Because that would explain why. Because he had to train our Barry to use the Speed Force, and then he had to connect to that Speed Force because the one that he was originally connected to was gone. That's a really good theory. I promise I will not take it, but I will run with that. That's awesome. That does explain that.
Yeah.
So
the only thing that sort of goes against it is that like the Speed Force is meant to be this thing that crosses all the multiverse, but then there's been Jay Garrick on Earth 3.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that sort of makes me think that doesn't exist, unless it's like Thorne needs someone on his Earth at the same time as him that has a connection to the Speed Force to feed off of it. But yeah, the only thing that sort of goes against that is the whole Jay Garrick on Earth 3, and he's been there for a while.
That's true. That is true. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at? We are at $1.99 super chat from Queer Edit. Thank you so much. With a Killer Frost avatar. That's awesome. Ralph Kaitlyn moment was hilarious. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm not speaking for Paige, I'm speaking for myself. Even though we only got it for like 4 or 5 minutes of the episode, I think the Ralph Kaitlyn stuff was the best stuff in the episode. To be completely honest.
Because the Nora Rogue stuff, like it was just like, I guess Nora and Weather Witch had some chemistry there, like that made it somewhat enjoyable, but it wasn't that great.
But she was being fake to Nora, which is, you know what? Honestly, it was kind of nice to see Nora get a taste of her own medicine because she'd been lying to people for so long. I was like, that's kind of cool.
Obviously, I'm sure we'll talk about the Iris stuff.
Oh yeah, we will. We're getting to it. We're only at 51 minutes. We still got a little bit of time to get into that. So
the only thing I could compare is like Cisco basically just messing with the rogues. Yeah, that's about it.
So we have another. Let's do this last super chat here, and then we'll start breaking down the episode. Anthony Davis with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, "LOL, so much for the Weather Witch's redemption." Yeah, they threw that out the window too. So that character is a straight up villain now, obviously. Basically because she was willing to just start electrocuting people if the Flash didn't reveal his identity. So I was like, okay, there's that. Thank you so much for the super chat, but I totally agree with you. So this episode we had the new rogues or the young rogues. Which one did they go with? New rogues, young rogues? I think it was young rogues, right?
That was Roguettes?
Yeah, I guess. So the Weather Witch was predictable because we kind of knew she was going to come back into the play. The car chick, Silver Ghost, was absent, and they address it in the episode because basically Weather Witch is like, I just left her. Like, whatever they were doing, she left her behind, I guess. I don't know if they went any further than that, but it seems like that was the premise of that. Then we had the Ragdoll character, who is creepy. I like him. I think he's a good character. I think out of the 3 rogues we got, he's obviously the most interesting one. But he didn't do much in terms of like, I mean, he had a couple of scenes, but like the jump scare scene I thought was pretty interesting. And then we had the bee lady. I mean, what does she go by Queen Bee or Bug-Eyed Bandit? Or
she calls herself Queen Bee, but Team Flash calls her Bug-Eyed Bandit.
Okay,
and she gets triggered by that.
Right. So people are saying she looked different. She's just styled different. It's the same actress playing the character.
She just wasn't wearing glasses.
Yeah. So they styled her a little bit different. It was kind of a random, like, I got that Ragdoll and Weather Witch were on Nora's radar, but the Bee Girl, they never met. They never even interacted with each other. So why? That was just weird to have her back, I thought. She was just annoying. She wasn't as annoying, but she was annoying enough for me. Well, the Bug-Eyed Bandit, I hated her on Arrow. I thought she was really bad on Arrow. And she was annoying other times that we saw her. She's not as annoying as Cupid. So there's that. So that's the storyline. And we're to assume that Nora, well, at the end of the episode, they said that they thought Nora was going to go after Cicada. And she goes, no, I was going after this thing to destroy the dagger. But essentially, isn't that the same thing?
It's the same thing. It's letting them take down Cicada.
Right. So I thought it's basically the same thing.
And also, it's important to remember she still has the hand things and has blades that she could use. Like the dagger is like just a part of her.
Right.
It's not like the other Cicada where the dagger is the main thing.
Right.
Cicada 2 has those hand blasts and has those dual wielding curved swords that she was using.
She's definitely more deadly than the first cicada. Like,
yeah. Hopefully that comes out and they're like, oh, look, we did it. We destroyed it. Yes, we win. Oh, crap. She's got 2 more blades and she can shoot stuff out of her hands.
Well, the thing is, she decimated the whole team without the dagger. She came in and wrecked shop and never even used the dagger. Like, so the dagger itself, and let's be honest, guys, the dagger is a very inconsistent plot device. It doesn't always do what it's supposed to do. Sometimes it does crazy things. Sometimes it's just a regular dagger. It really depends on who's writing the dagger at the time. So, Emanuela Damiani, I hope I got that right, with the $5 super chat, says, I'm in California for work and I can watch the after party live. You guys are the best. Love, love, love. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for coming in.
California.
Yeah, I haven't been to California in ages. I need to make a trip back out there. I miss the West Coast. So the whole premise is she's doing this to get this mirror gun that can destroy the dagger because that's what Eobard Thawne tells her.
Wasn't it like solar reflector or something? Something like that.
I don't remember.
It can reduce things to like dust or something, break down anything.
Now, I had a couple of issues with their plan, with their heist, right? The heist issue that I had was the meta dampening technology is the same everywhere. It's literally the same tech. So if meta dampening cuffs work on meta tech users when they put them on their hands, then the meta dampening devices in this building would do the same thing, right? Or should? It's all the same tech.
I guess.
So I didn't understand that. That was a little bit weird. With the bee girl, though, got it. She doesn't have any meta tech to worry about. She's literally just a tech girl. Like, that's all she has.
With robot bees.
Right. Right, with robot bees. So, yeah. So I thought that was a little strange because there was an argument about who was meta tech, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't matter. The meta bracelets stop meta and meta techs. So the panel should have stopped them too. So that kind of bugged me a little bit. The fact that Nora, let's talk about the kidnapping because I thought that was kind of interesting. You have a different opinion than I do because I saw your review. I watched it really quick before we went live. I feel like Nora pretending to be Thawne by vibrating her hand was too far for me when it comes to Cisco. Not because I didn't think I thought she was actually going to do it, but I thought it's like, that's different to me than joking about something because that's how Cisco died. That's how Thawne killed him.
But did Nora know that?
She should, right? She's read the book with the info, right?
Yeah, but does it say anything about like in another timeline? I don't know if that would be common knowledge.
I don't know either, but it was it was a very specific thing though. Like it was, you know what I mean?
But I think it was just more like an empty threat just to get something to happen. Just like, as I said, like...
Oh, Cisco told her, so she did know.
Oh, okay. If she's got like all this like negative speed force flowing through her, maybe just takes it to the edge and like, oh, well, I got to get this stuff done, so I'll just do this empty threat. Because it was an empty threat. She was never going to
I thought for sure she knew, but I couldn't remember how. So he did tell her. So that's why I thought like that was such a specific thing for her to do. And that's why I was like, that's a pretty low blow. It's one thing to threaten him. It's another thing to use something that is that personal. And
yeah,
I don't know. She was treading that line for me. Like I'm like, okay, it's Nora. We know that she's going to end up working with the team again because we know already. But I thought some of the things she was doing, especially that to me, felt like it was not irredeemable, but just like crossing a line for me. And so I don't know. It felt weird to me that she did that. And then they wanted to use the phone to control the bees. Is that right? And then use the bees like to... I don't understand that. The phone made headlines that people read and then they did what the headlines told them to do. How does that translate to bees? Because bees don't read. So...
No, it was like she could control technology to influence people.
So
I think that's how.
So that's the way they made it out to be. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
So her technology. She could use her phone, which could control other technology to control people. But they used the phone to sort of like connect to the bees. So the bees were basically like the message. So if like the bees were in front of you and you're connected with them, they would, you know. What would
but didn't she have her own bee technology to begin with? Wasn't that part of her powers? Like she...
I think the bees were just like, I don't know, because in Flash they were just bees, I think. But in Arrow, then they could like come together and become like a bee man.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that was her tech though, that she made that. So
yeah, she made that, but I think maybe just I don't know, just something else has happened here. But I just remember it's taken a couple of different forms.
People are making fun of me. They said bees can't read. How do you know bees don't read?
Well, yeah, is that very discriminatory to bees? Hold on, Eric, you're getting worried about getting demonetized. You said something pretty damn.
I'm not assuming things about bees, you guys.
Well, guys, if the Eric's Reloaded channel has been taken down for just a straight up community blocking strike, wasn't me that said it. It was Eric
look,
himself.
I know bees personally, okay? I know some bees, and they told me that they
I grew up with bees. They were in my neighborhood. My best friend is a bee.
Oh, God. I'm not going that far. So, Monochrome, let's move on. Monochrome Mandalorian with the $2 super chat, or $1.99 super chat, says, oops, accidentally clicked and heard Cisco died. Well, technically he did back in season 1, but he's alive again. So, yay! Thank you for the super chat.
Well, actually, you're on your last strike now, coming from the Omega. First you're racist against Iris, now bees. So he's got 2 episodes left. Who's it going to be?
I can't win. I can't
who's
win.
It gonna be? Well, who's it going to be?
Taking the L. Taking the L. Oh, God. Is that a pun? Really? Really?
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Sorry. Thought I'd be Cisco for a minute.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So anyway, that part of the story was kind of boring. It was, well, first of all, because of what we do in the fandom, it was a pointless episode because we knew that they were going to take Nora back. So for us, it was like, why are we even watching this? You know what I mean? Like, that's really the way I felt about it. We got some cool scenes with her using the negative speed force, especially the part where she had the red eyes and everything. I missed the Cecile scene. What was her scene? Because for some reason, I don't remember it. What happened?
It was her reading Iris's mind, saying that like she feels like she knew that Nora wanted to come back with her or something like that.
Okay. That was it? That's all it was?
Something, and there was something else. I was talking about some other crap. Whenever Cecile's on screen, most of the time I turn my mind off, like my brain off.
Yeah, because I didn't remember it for some reason. I don't know why. I completely blinked out.
Because I've said this before. Cecile is probably the only character on the show. If she left, no one would notice. Mm-hmm. Like she's easily the most expendable character on the show.
Right. Next to Nora.
So, well, yeah, but the show's really shoving Nora down our throats.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Don't really have
I will say this to the bitter end: Cecile was best in the middle of the season when Joe was gone because they gave her all of Joe's really good lines.
Yeah, so, she basically became female Joe.
Yeah, Dr. Meatball. What I've never understood is Nora's already changed the present. How in the world is she able to return to her own future? The whole season has made no sense. I'm not disagreeing with you. That's there. She's been in the past long enough for that changes to be made cement. So
well, you just said cement in a really weird way. Demonetized.
Amir with a $5 super chat. Could one of the negative Speed Force abilities grant Thawne the memories of other versions of himself that were erased? It could be. I feel like though when they talk about reading that book, I feel like it helps them just remember what they're reading. So their previous versions sort of, because that would explain how Thawne knew all of the people from season 1 when he was on Legends. Because even though that version of Thawne wasn't with them, he was able to read the book and remember them. Well, what's so funny?
Just people pointing you around the chat. See mints. See mints.
Pagey rap battle Eric, please. He said he would prove him wrong. I'm not. If I play one bit of music, they would shut the stream down. It would be gone. So
yeah.
Does anybody know why Sherlock apologized to Nora? Because he got bullied by everybody in the team. It's the only reason why. He doesn't have any reason to apologize to her. So the team, this is another thing. Nora was totally confident with sticking with the young rogues until they turned on her. And then all of a sudden now she's best friends with her family again. Anybody else have a problem with that? I thought that was a little weird.
I think everyone does. So it's just random as hell.
I'm like, well, that doesn't make her good. let's see what else happened. Like the Nora stuff is so prevalent. I feel like that's the main character. We talk about her so much in every episode. So then where do I don't even know where to go to next. Let's jump over to the way the team saved Nora when they flipped on her, because we had the Sherlock hologram that was in there, which I was like you. I thought it was Ralph pretending to be the Flash because it seemed more like him.
Well, at first I thought it was, and I thought, oh, but there's the meta dampener, so it couldn't be.
Right.
And then when she fired the blast, even then I couldn't even see like the digital stuff there. Right. I thought Ralph had just like moved or something like that. But the thing is, he was acting like Ralph.
Right.
So that's why
it was Wells acting like Ralph, looking like Barry. That's kind of what it was. And then surprise, surprise, we're using the hologram tech. Woo! What a throwback to season 3. Let me just say, when I go back and I watch this season, how many times are there going to be moments where they could have used that tech and they didn't? Because it's been there for a really long time, and we haven't used it in a long time. And guess what? All those times that Ralph was impersonating people, we could have just used the hologram tech because it's right there. But for some reason, we have it now, and we're using it at this moment. Not saying there was anything wrong with it now. I'm just saying that if it's been around all this time, then, why haven't we used it in a while?
Yeah.
What did you think about them bringing that back? Did it bother you at all, or were you just like, okay?
Not really. It's just a convenience thing. It is just a convenience thing, but I didn't mind it because it's not like it got destroyed or anything like that. So
I still can't get over the fact that there's a bunch of Wells that are walking around in public.
The only issue I had is like, wasn't there only ever one of those pens?
Yeah. Yep. They got 3 of them now.
Now there's 3. So I guess that's the only issue there.
So the other thing that I was going to mention real quick, and we're just going to move on from it because I don't think we'll ever get an answer, is one of the big reasons why HR had to use that device is because everybody knew who Wells was, and if you walked around the city, people would know that Wells is still there or whatever. But since that season, Wells has joined and walked around the city like there's no issue with it. It's like whatever. Okay, so ultimately Nora and she gets accepted back into the team, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, Nora's back." Blah blah blah. Even Cisco, who she tried to vibrate her hand through his chest, whatever. So let's get into the stuff that's really going to trigger people, because I know this is what everybody's waiting for. So this episode, and it's not just this episode; it's kind of been like the last 3 episodes, I would say. Yeah, at least the last 2, maybe the last 3. They have really tried to drive this wedge between Iris and Barry and making Iris the worst girlfriend ever, worst wife ever with a character. Because Iris knows full well that Thawne has, killed Barry's mother. That should be enough, right? That's bad enough. Framed his father. Joined the bad guys on Crisis on Earth X, which did all kinds of atrocities, which ultimately led to the death of Martin Stein. Yeah. There are a lot of things. The list could go on and on.
You got mentioned the glaring one that she had a first-hand experience with. Him being an asshole forced Eddie to kill himself.
Right. He killed Cisco in a previous timeline. He also, what am I forgetting here? There's something else I was going to think of that I forgot. Oh, what is it? What was it? I just lost it. He's done a lot of stuff. Look, it's like, the Doom World. He killed all the heroes in Doom World, the alternate reality. He killed all of them. So he's not redeemable. This is a character that's not redeemable. You can try and make us sympathize with him, but we can't empathize with him because there's no redeeming his character, right? So the fact that Iris thinks that because he cares about Nora, that makes a difference. I don't get that. She should be concerned that he cares about Nora. More than anything, why does he care about Nora? Okay, so you feel like he does, but you don't know the reason why.
The most important thing here is that they're saying that because Nora trusts her, trusts him, that reflects good on Eobard. But what it should be is that it reflects bad on Nora, that she trusts that homicidal maniac.
Yes. Yeah.
It should reflect bad on Nora, and anyone that trusts Nora after that, it should reflect bad on them. Like,
Right.
really, and I said this, Barry is essentially a massive cuck. Like, he basically is. Like, it's the writers writing him that way. That where basically he just kneels down and goes, "Oh, you were right the entire time." It's like, no, both Iris and Joe are wrong in this episode by trying to. Because it's not just Iris,
right? It's Joe.
Shifting.
Joe did it. The Joe one was even worse because it was indirect. Like the writers had Joe sort of pushing Barry towards Nora's and Iris's argument by being indirect, and that's even worse because Joe would never do that.
Yeah.
So
it's just like I'm hoping that Reverse Flash comes in, probably just maybe straight up kills Nora or something, and goes, "Oh, you're right, Barry. Everyone else is an idiot."
Finn Your Human goes, "Why would Nora vouching for anybody be worth anything?" Look. Here's the thing. You're totally right, but this is the worst. This is what gets to me the most. Iris's argument to Barry about Eobard caring about Nora. She talked to Eobard for at the most 5 minutes. She's been with Nora for 8 months. Nora was lying to everybody for probably like 10 months now. Nora's been lying to them all this time, right? And she never picked up on it. But we're supposed to believe her gut with Thawne? That her gut is telling her that he's good now, that he's, I'm just like, what world is this? And this is not, here's the thing, this is not me attacking Candace because I actually, for once, agree with the way she feels about the show right now because I feel like her frustration is, why would Iris be doing this? Why would Iris be defending Eobard Thawne? I can't even... Iris is defending Eobard Thawne.
Yeah, it's incredibly stupid. It's not even like, oh, it's controversial writing to like mix up some story. It's literally idiotic writing that should go against. It honestly says that Iris is an idiot, and it says that Joe's an idiot as well, or that they don't care about Barry.
And then Iris saying she wants Nora to stay with them and be part of their family. What is this? What are we watching? Like, Iris understands the damage that time travel can do. She was the quote-unquote leader of Team Flash while Barry was gone, running the team. And you have a leader of Team Flash who understands the damages and the danger of time travel, advocating for someone to stay in the past.
And it's important to remember, the whole reason that Barry got trapped in the Speed Force, had to go in there, was a result of him traveling through time, which created something they had to fix, which in turn opened that space in the Speed Force, which he had to take the place of. He got stuck in there. Like, time travel was the reason.
And I'm also tired of her blaming him for doing that because he had to do it. There was no choice. It's either I go in there and do this or we all die. That's not a choice.
Yeah, that's not a choice. It's like,
you left me. You didn't even give me an opportunity to talk about it. There's no time to talk.
It's like, it's almost like Iris is pregnant. She has to go deliver the baby or give the baby or whatever you want to call it. Jesus Christ, I almost knocked my bowl through frustration. And then Barry's like, "Oh my God, you left to go to the hospital. How selfish. How selfish of you to go deliver that baby or give birth to that baby in the hospital. You left me at home. You left me at home. We're watching something on TV.
Emanuela says, "Oh, did Iris blame Barry again for going to the Speed Force?" She does it every season now, ever since it's happened. Yeah. There's at least one argument where she throws it in his face.
If the argument gets fierce enough, or if Barry basically hasn't delivered the L, but has the L nicely wrapped, bit of a nice pretty bow on it, and is about to give the L to Iris, Iris will bring up the Speed Force thing. Candace removed West Allen from her Instagram bio.
Whoa.
Candace,
wait a minute, for real? Look that up. Double check that.
Candace Patton Instagram says, "Do no harm, but take no shit," and then it's a dice.
Whoa.
Oh. I'm your host, DJ Eric. Let's get right into the news.
What?
Do you have Whittaker's milk chocolate in America and Australia? It's in Australia. You get it around Easter time. My sister always gets it for me.
We have Whittaker's, yeah. I I'm kind of speechless right now. Like, wow. So, because she's totally all about the West Allen fandom. That's like her biggest supporters. And so I don't know what to say. I don't know where to go from here. What is happening? So, but here's the thing. I don't blame her for being mad. Iris deserves, she was promised that the character was going to get an accurate reporter storyline this season. She's been promoting this reporter storyline for 2 years now that she was supposedly going to get. And they keep not giving that story to her. Now, here's how I feel about this and what I think was going on with this. And I think you've touched on this before. Iris, as a reporter, makes her a very hard character to write within the story of The Flash, which in turn makes it hard to give her the screen time that the lead female needs.
Yeah.
Like, that's not her fault, though. That's not her fault, though.
Yeah. Iris West she's just the character that doesn't suit TV in regards to a main role.
Right.
Like, if you want to keep her comic accurate. It's just, the character just doesn't work that way. She can work well in a movie, but in a movie, she'd be there. You'd be lucky if she's on screen for 15 minutes of a 2-hour movie, maybe 20 minutes at most, depending what the relationship between her and Barry is at a certain stage. Like, if they're like married, then and like a date, like a girlfriend and boyfriend, then maybe half an hour. But if it's just like, you know, a love interest and stuff like that, maybe 15, 20. And season 1 like it's probably the best use of Iris in regards to her blog and stuff like that.
Right.
But like, it's obviously, it's just, Iris is a broken character. Like, she could have a really good episode, but then next episode she'll have a bad episode. She'll never be a consistent character, and it's always going to be frustrating to watch. So you can like the character, and I've always said I liked Iris in season 1, 2, and half of season 3, but then it got to the point where they just wanted to make her this everything. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like everything, and it leads to the point where in this season, like, they're trying to do what everyone has wanted the characters to do, which is, you know, start Central City Picture News and or Central City Citizen, sorry. Central City Citizen? Yeah, Picture News is what it is at the moment, the newspaper, yeah. So Central City Citizen, everyone's been waiting for it. We get to this point, but they don't know how to handle it because it's not an easy thing to give that much of a focus of on the show. It's just
I am literally shook right now. Like, I don't normally get shook, but this is like a big deal because she has not promoted the show at all in probably 8 months.
She posted a photo of, she posted a screenshot from the episode about a month ago, but the caption is just, "I'm kind of cute here."
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I'm scrolling through Instagram.
Oh my God. Like, whoa.
It's usually just like screenshots and promo images of episodes. And the last time she posted anything actually Flash related was November 20th last year when it was the 100th episode party. And then she said, like, "Thank you for this role, blah blah blah." But yeah. It was almost like a self-pat on the back, to be completely honest, that post. But that was the last time. So, but we've been, like, everyone's noted, like, if you just keep up to date with, like, the only person in the car, the only couple of people in the cast who consistently post about The Flash are probably Danielle Panabaker, Hartley Sawyer, and then sometimes Tom Cavanaugh. And sometimes Danielle Nicolette. But the thing is, I don't blame Candace for not promoting the show, because it seems like the show's not giving her decent material. And as an actor, you would know that. It's like when you know you're listening to a good song or not. Especially if you've been on a show for this long.
Wow.
I'm watching the live stream, and you're just sitting back there as if like you're tripping out or something.
I just don't know. Like, I'm thinking in my mind, like, what if she's the one that gets erased at the end of the season because of what Nora did?
I'd be surprised. I think Candace is there till the end, but it just matters. Like, I don't know what they're gonna, because if they don't really hype, I don't know why I said hype, but like build up this, or like get a move along with this story, then I don't know what they're gonna do with Iris, because if because they have contracts, but you got to remember the contracts aren't like, okay, you're on the show till the end. It's like a year based, not like 1 year based, but like 3 year based contract, 4 year based, 2 year based. So it got to the end of one of her contracts, and she was like, "No, I'm leaving the show. I got a gig on like another show, whatever it might be, or you go like on like an NBC show or something where you probably get paid more. You might film in LA, you might film in New York or something.
You're on the beach all day. The weather's nice all year round.
You're not filming in Vancouver away from the thing because and I'm sure like because I know what her relationship with is like on the people on the show, but it wouldn't surprise me if and I wouldn't blame her. Like I don't really support all the stuff that Candace posts about a lot of the time, but I wouldn't blame her if she decided to get up and go because it seems like the writers don't care, and when the material is pretty crap, you can't really blame the actor or the actress for being like, oh, why do I stick around with this? Like I can just go do something better and live a better life, more happy life.
Okay, so we got a couple super chats. Maybe I can break out of this funk. Let me we'll go back to this in a second.
Well, hold on. Okay, loosen up, Eric. Get your arms moving. I want you to do 2 dabs on screen right now because that'll get your emotion right back in check. So right. 2 dabs on screen.
2 dabs
right
done.
Now.
Got it. Done.
Okay.
We're done.
So, we're back in the mood.
All right.
Back in a good mood.
We're good. All right. Come on. Let's do these super. We got a couple super chats. Let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Amir's got a $5 super chat. He said, "Could one of the negative Speed Force abilities grant Thawne the memories of the other?" Oh, that's for War. Thank you for that super chat. Laura E's the one that I'm looking at. Let me scroll down here. $5 super chat. The writers set up where Barry is going to have to break out the Reverse Flash for the finale. I think that's probably accurate. If not Barry, someone's going to have to break him out because we see him out running around in the behind the scene photos, and we know now because of that he's going to be back. So, what are you laughing at?
Finn going, that broke my cringe, man. I'm pretty sure he's talking about the 2 dabs.
Oh yeah, well get the teddy bear suit out. That's in the closet. It's too hot for that. It's like 90 degrees here. So what do you think? I mean, do you think Barry's going to break Thawne out, or do you think that it's going to be like Nora's going to go back and get him out, or what do you think is going to happen?
Well, the one thing I've been thinking about since last episode is when Ralph and Iris go to the future, when Ralph goes to get Iris, he sticks around and like sort of like scans up and down Eobard.
Right.
I'm expecting in the finale that Ralph impersonates Eobard. Now, whether it's at a climactic moment or maybe I don't know what the reasoning exactly would be to do it because he wouldn't be able to run fast. He just looked like Eobard. Unless they do something where Barry breaks him out and Ralph just impersonates Eobard in the cell in the future for a bit. But they purposely did that last episode where he stands there and scans up and down Eobard. So
he knows exactly what he looks like. Is basically
so Ralph's going to impersonate him at some point. It just matters like what the context is. Whether Ralph stays in the cell so Eobard can go back and do his thing, or if it's in present day for some other reason. But if you go back and watch that scene, Ralph looks at him in like almost like am I going to bring the police sort of manner? Like if someone looked at me like that for too long, I'd be like, what are you looking at? Because I'll ring the cops right now. Please stop.
Right, yeah. Well, the thing is that Ralph, I think the cell blocks the Speed Force, but not meta powers. Isn't that what he said?
No, it blocks meta powers, but if you try to use your powers, you get electrocuted. So Ralph would be able to take it.
Probably, because his body's elastic, basically. So
yeah, he just wouldn't be able to stretch, but I'm not too sure.
All right, so thank you so much, Laura, for that $5. Mike Ram with a $2 super chat goes, "A Flash show without Iris, thank Bebo gods."
Okay. Well, Canada Graphs did say in the scene that's shot outside, Ralph and Reverse Flash are both there.
Okay.
Well, maybe Ralph just does it for the meme. I don't know.
Or you guys, maybe something that he has told Nora to do in the next episode makes it so he never got captured because he never told her. He never explained to her how he got captured. Probably because something that she's doing is going to get him out. That's what I think.
Who knows? It could be Cicada's dagger that got him captured.
What if that's it? What if that's what put him?
Well, there's got to be a reason why he wants to destroy it.
Think about it, though. Think about it.
Yeah.
The dagger would be the perfect way to capture him because it would negate his powers.
Yeah, and they can just walk up and get him as long as the dagger's near him.
So once the dagger's destroyed, history rewrites itself and he's out of jail.
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
There's always a reason that the dagger needed to be destroyed. So
yeah, Flashpoint.
Well, he wanted it.
$2 super chat says, "Here's your payment for those 2 dabs, $1 a dab." Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You could thank Pagey for that. He always makes me dab for stuff. I don't know why.
Well, the question is, if a dab is worth $1 each, How much is the floss worth?
I don't know. It's not enough room to do a floss. That's my excuse. There's not enough room here to do it. Emanuela with a $10 super chat says, theory time. Post-crisis, Iris and Barry are not together. Oh, wait. I'm already feeling where this is going right now because I already know. Kind of a Ginger Wally rebirth storyline where Barry remembers her, but everyone else doesn't. What do you think? That would send the West Allen fandom. They would go crazy with that. That would be
You know the bit from The Office where Steve Carell goes, "I'm going to kill myself," and he slams the desk. That'd basically be the West Allen fandom, I think.
Yeah, that's an interesting theory. I mean, I'm assuming Crisis has to change some stuff because it's going to be a soft reset, I think, for the shows so that they can change some things. I would love for Supergirl to come to Earth 1, make it nice and clean.
Ooh.
What? Where are you going with this?
Ooh. Barry goes into the Speed Force, doesn't sacrifice himself, but because of the merge of the Earths, gets sort of lost, comes back, doesn't remember Iris. It's Barry and Ralph, another LGBT relationship in the show. Ralph's looking for love. Barry's lost Iris. Boom, we got it. There's season 6 of The Flash. Post-crisis.
Whose fanfic is that? Where'd you get that one from?
I'm going to keep that secret.
Okay, all right. So, well, thank you for the $10 super chat, the theory. I appreciate it. There's one other question I wanted to answer here because I saw it and I was thinking, let me answer it because it says, how come Nora's lightning changed color back to her normal color when next week's episode is called The Girl with the Red Lightning? I think that's a misdirect. Don't you think that's a misdirect?
Or it's a nod to Cicada because I always thought it was Cicada until... I thought it was Cicada when the thing first got released. And I was saying that in my videos. And then, like, the whole negative Speed Force thing happened. It's like, oh, well, maybe it's Nora. But now it's not Nora? But I don't know.
If they do reset the relationship between Iris and Barry, they could do it now, though, because with Arrow gone, if you think about it, with Arrow gone, Flash literally can do whatever they want to do because they don't have to worry about what's going on Arrow. And Legends is its own thing, even though it's on Earth 1. So they could literally do just about anything. And it wouldn't affect Supergirl if they don't merge Supergirl with Earth 1. So the Flash could get as crazy as it wanted. They're not bound by the group shows still exist, but they're not all tied together. Because Arrow and Flash were the shows that were probably the most connected, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So, yeah. They should not. So I always be singing says they should not reset West Allen. What is that? Browf? I ship it.
It's Barf. It's Ralph and Barry put together.
I was trying. What is that about? Oh God, we started something now. It's gonna get hashtagged on Twitter. I still don't know what happened with Zoom in the 100th episode. Well, keep wondering because we're never gonna get an explanation for that one. Now it's gonna be Supergirl and Batwoman, which is weird because wasn't it confirmed that Batwoman is on Earth 1? So
yeah, Batwoman's Earth 1, but it could just be this thing where like just convenience around crossovers are there. Like I think Barry's still gonna be like the reason for like Supergirl getting involved, but like Supergirl and Batwoman is going to be like the new Barry and Oliver.
Oh well. All right. Well, let's wrap because we're at the hour and 27-minute mark, so we're right at our normal ending time, and we're gonna take the picture down. And you know what that guy? You know what that means? What? Go ahead.
The anti-monitor did write, but it is disconnected already. Nora's future and Star City future is different, but it is important to remember that Nora's future is 2049 while Star City is 2040, and the future team is working together to stop what's basically causing Star City to be crap. So there's still a 9-year chance for them to get to the point where Star City becomes like the Glades. Because the Glades is basically just like Nora's future. So there's a connection there, but the outside of the Glades in the normal Star City, it's basically just ruins. So there's still a chance to redeem Star City to the point like the Glades are and like Nora's future are.
So Zari's future technically by now should be changed. And I think they even said at one point that it was. But we're also finding out in an episode before, I think it might even be the next episode or the one after, they're supposedly going to try and fix Zari's future. Right?
God knows what that means.
I mean, that's so weird. Amethyst with a $5 super chat. What if Felicity loses Oliver? They have a time jump. Barry loses Iris and meets Jessica, the Green Lantern from Rebirth, and he marries her. That would be super awesome, but that's never going to happen. That would be like super comic booky. You're talking about Jessica Cruz, right? Is that who we're talking about?
Yeah. Because in the recent run, they had the bad Justice League run, they had a daughter named Nora.
Jessica Cruz is also in the Justice League versus the Fatal Five movie, right?
Yeah,
Was you in that?
I watched it. Yeah, I watched it. I made the rookie mistake and bought it on iTunes when I should just watch it on DC Universe.
That's what I'm going to do when we get done, because I haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to watch it when we're done with this. So
I spent $20 on it, and I could have watched it for free.
So anyway, thank you so much for the super chat, Amethyst. I would love that. I'd love to see a Green Lantern on the shows anyway. So okay, here we go. Give your scores for this week's Flash from a 1 to 10. What did you think about it in the chat right now? And after that, I want to know which show of the 4 shows won the week for you. Which ones do you guys think won the week? Like, what was the best show? I already know which one I've got. I know which one I feel like was the best. See some 8s, some 5s, some 6s. So, yeah, Arrow. I see 2 arrows. A soft 5. 5.7 out of 10. 7. Arrow won. Arrow won the week. I'm going to agree. I think Arrow won the week this week. I think it was the strongest episode out of the 4. What did you think?
Yeah, I'm going to type in the chat. Arrow wins.
So it's saved there forever.
Yeah.
Rachel Wise with the 199 super chat. Who do you like better, Kaitlyn or Iris? That's a tough question, because I technically like Danielle and Candace both. Like, I think they're both really good. I think right now, let's just talk about this season. This season, I think it's clear that Danielle or Kaitlyn has the better storyline. I think Iris's storyline is really screwed up right now. So if we're talking about right this moment, I think Kaitlyn is a stronger character. So I would go with Kaitlyn, but it could always change depending on what happens. So what about you? Because she didn't say just me. Who do you like better, Kaitlyn or Iris?
Bum, bum, bum.
Come on, Pagey. Who do you like better, Kaitlyn or Iris?
Where are the West Downers recording this stream? Actually, well, let's just break it down. Let's do a flashback.
Okay.
Season 1, I would say Iris.
Okay.
Season 2, ooh. It's close, but I'd probably still give it to Iris. But since season 3 onwards, Kaitlyn.
Okay, that's fair. Look, Cantergrass says somehow Pagey's going to sneak out of answering this.
I'm lagging. I have to leave.
Oh, God. Okay, so the question about Avengers Endgame, are we going to do a review? I think it's kind of pointless for me to do a review, honestly.
Well, yeah, it's because we know why.
Yeah. Why is that?
Marvel cock. You're just going to get 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
You're not going to criticize it.
I feel like the review window for that is kind of closed for Avengers Endgame.
Well, everyone's just saying the same crap.
I mean, we could technically discuss it, but already the hour and 30 minute mark.
Yeah, we'd be here for like another half an hour.
Here's the thing. I don't mind doing a spoiler review, but I think we probably need to wait another week, honestly.
Yeah, we'll wait probably next week.
So next week, what we'll do is we'll plan, or, I mean, the problem is that it takes us like an hour and a half to get through the 4 shows, so I don't want to do Endgame at the end of this. So we might pick another night of the week and do it, where we can talk about it.
Well, you've been talking about getting War Stew on here, haven't you?
I could get him on here. I could definitely get War Stew on here.
That would be so memey. That'd be hilarious.
But yeah, so we'll do an in-game next week. We will do an in-game live stream just for in-game, because the time travel stuff is very interesting. It's also kind of an issue, but I'm not gonna get into it now. Not gonna do it. So we will talk about that when next week, because there's a lot of different stuff happening, and by next week we might even have more information on it. So Paige covers because the Russo brothers are doing the rounds trying to explain the ending of the movie. So
that's not very good. You have to explain it. But
I know it is. Matter of fact, we'll talk about it when we start.
If you explain something, that's usually not a good sign.
Yeah. So what's with me and War Stew? Nothing. He's just another creator here on YouTube, and
they both have beards.
Each other. Yeah, we both have beards. I mean, get Charlie, don't get Worcester. Charlie doesn't do collabs with people. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing something with Charlie. He just doesn't have any, I don't think he has any interest in it. That's fine. It's nothing against him. I just think that he doesn't have any interest in it. Okay, so we're getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for coming by the live stream. Thank you, Pagey, for joining me this week and not being at the movies. Really appreciate it.
No worries. I know that people were enjoying my singing from earlier on, so Stay tuned next week. I'll bring out some new songs.
Diss track. We're gonna do some diss track next week.
Well, maybe we could do a diss track on something else, and I'll be like that. The backing vocalist. While you do the rap, and I'll be just the backing vocalist.
Okay, we'll do that.
Basically, you're Kanye. I'm Sway Lee. Okay.
Okay.
That's basically
that works.
how
All right.
we're
Yeah. Okay, makes sense to me.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, I'm out. See you guys later. Have a good night, and we will see you guys next week. All right. Take care.